Good morning. Today is January 19, 2021. We will continue our lesson with Through the Tunnel for this week's lesson. Our text for today is 6C and 11H. Analyze nonlinear plot development and compare it to linear plot development. Display academic citations, including for paraphrased text. Objectives. Students will know key vocabulary from Through the Tunnel. Students will understand what linear and nonlinear plot development is. Students will be able to compose a response to a question about the linear and nonlinear plot development and Through the Tunnel. Our goals: I can use key vocabulary from Through the Tunnel. I can explain what linear plot development is. I can compose a response to questions about the linear plot found in Through the Tunnel. Our essential question, again, what characteristics helped us survive? Let's recap what we've read already from part one of Through the Tunnel. In the short story, Through the Tunnel by Doris Lessing, a young boy, Jerry, and his widowed mother are vacationing at the beach. While his mother prefers the safe, more popular part of the beach, Jerry sets out on his own and discovers a beach that seems to him wild and secluded. Seemingly, the only humans who use this beach are a group of local boys who delight in swimming through a long and dangerous underwater tunnel. Jerry, a very skilled swimmer himself, yearns to make the long trip through the rocky passage, but it requires breath control and swimming skill that exceeded his. To Jerry, swimming through that tunnel would be a rite of passage, as well as the accomplishment of a personal goal. He trains and practices, encountering setbacks and small victories as he readies himself for this ultimate test of physical and mental stamina. So you're going to continue reading Through the Tunnel, and words that you're going to encounter is promontory, which is a high point of land or rock projected into a body of water, such as here on the side here. This is a promontory. Example from Through the Tunnel: on the edge of a small cape that marked the side of the bay away from the promontory was a loose scatter of rocks. Buoyant, capable of keeping a body afloat. Here's an example from Through the Tunnel. He floated on the buoyant surface and looked for his mother. Okay, being able to float. We're going to learn what is linear versus nonlinear plot structure. And Through the Tunnel, the author Doris Lessing uses a linear plot structure to add to the story's effect. We as readers can follow Jerry's actions as they occur in the story. You're going to watch the video to understand the basic elements of a linear and nonlinear plot structure.
Okay, so we're going to be looking at non-linear plot. In general, is the organized pattern or sequence of events that make up a story. This should be very clear. It's on the plot development. So most things are driven by this sequence. As if it never gets ahead of the play. We start in the present when the animal grows. This is what we want to go back to the past. Can you think of what is when there's multiple
And so here we have an example of a linear plot diagram. You are to map out your events of the story through the tunnel. Use this as a guide in your notebook, your digital notebook, or your personal journal to map out the story as you read through the tunnel. Remember looking for the exposition. Who is the protagonist? What is the antagonist? The setting, time, place, internal conflict, external conflict. What is the rise in action, the climax, fall in action, and resolution? Try to look for the author's theme, the theme of the story, symbolism, any foreshadowing, if so, if it takes place, and any irony. Critical thinking. At the end of the story, you will complete a critical thinking question. So here's the question below. Doris Lesson could have used nonlinear devices to tell this story. For example, she might have had an adult Jerry relate this experience as a memory of his childhood. Explain how the linear plot structure she chose adds to the story's effect, including its suspense. Here's an exemplar response that I crafted. Lesson use of linear plot structure allows the reader to visualize the events from beginning to end. The effect of the linear plot gives the reader an opportunity to journey with the protagonist as the character struggles with his external conflict, such as when the author leaves out details after the protagonist's head knocked against something underwater that caused him sharp pain and dizziness. Because Lesson leaves out some details after this incident, it allows for greater suspense as anxiety of uncertainty on how the events will unfold, which creates anticipation for the outcome of the story's end for the protagonist. So, at the end in Schoology, you will have this critical thinking question. You will craft your own response and use my exemplar response to help guide you when you're creating your response. Remember, Through the Tunnel is written in linear plot structure, and you need to analyze and critically think what would have been different had Lesson have chosen to um, put the story in nonlinear plot structure. Okay, and that is it for today's lesson. Any questions, you can always email me or see me during my office hours, Monday through Friday, 7:30 to 8. Thank you. Have a good day.